Yeah. Wait, actually, hold on. I need to tell him for something.
Okay. Start ke? Okay.
So I just proceed with section E, right?
Yeah, but before that,
Okay.
my question will be A and B, and Rose punya C dan D, dan Isyang punya E dan F.
Okay, that.
Boleh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 Good evening, Miss Lexi. Thank you for joining this interview session. My name is Sherin, and my friend's name is Siva Roshini and Tani Siang. We are students from Sultan East Education University. We will conducting this interview for our assignment in English for specific purpose, and this interview is to understand the English needs for IT professional. Your response will be kept as confidential. May I begin?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is, what is your current role in the IT field?
I'm currently a software developer.
Oh, okay. So how many years of experience do you have in IT?
I have 2 years worth of experience in this field. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your main daily tasks at work?
Well, I'm mainly tasked to develop systems and apps as well as maintaining the overall system and giving it constant maintenance. And additionally, I'm also responsible for like any updates that's required for the system or the installation.
Do you work more with local or international client?
I actually work with both local and international.
Next is how often do you use English in your daily work?
Very frequently, actually, every day.
In what situation do you use English the most?
I mainly use it for communication with the team, with the IT team, development team, as well as clients for both locally and internationally, depending on their preferred language.
Situation do you what kind of speaking tasks do you usually perform?
All kinds of tasks actually for communicating with the team, as I mentioned, and for discussion and meetings with the clients all around the globe. And I also use communication with the development team internationally also. Yeah.
So, do you need to listen to English during meeting, tutorial, or discussion?
It's not a necessity in some cases, but I much prefer English anyway since it's my first language. But yeah, for English during meetings and so on, it really depends. But yeah, we also use English as well.
What type of material do you need in English? Like, do you find that the text in English is difficult to understand or not?
No, actually, I find English the one of the most easiest to understand, and the types of materials that I use for English lah. It's only for like meeting logs or notes that I take during meetings discussions. Actually, communicating with team mostly also use English language, and any important information jotted down with the team is usually in English as well. And yeah.
What kind of writing do you do in English? Like you're doing email or something?
I mainly email, yes, we use it as well, but we also since I'm a developer, I code. So in codes, we also have notes in it. I use English for that as well. And yeah, ultimately, I really use English a lot in my field of work.
Okay, that's it for me. Now I pass the question to my friend Sivarashini.
All right. Well, in my day-to-day work, I often use terms like front end, back end, API, database, deployment, debugging, and so on, like Git, repository, bug fixing. And yeah, besides that, I also frequently discuss like concepts like cloud operations and server-side logic, UI, UX, integration between different systems. Yeah. My conversation with clients usually focus on the understanding, as in like understanding their business needs and turning those needs into technical solutions, which is building websites or building applications. So, for example, we discuss what features they want, how users should interact with the system, and the project timelines, revisions, and the progress updates. Yeah, and I also often explain technical ideas in simpler language so clients can clearly understand what is possible and what may take more time and how certain features will work. Accuracy in technical English is very important because um, I'm communicating with clients and so on. So understand understanding is very important. It's like even small misunderstandings can lead to like wrong features or any like coding errors or and then yeah, and so all this can delay in a project. So clear communication helps make sure that the developers, clients, and the team members all understand the same requirements. So for me, using accurate technical terms also makes it like easier to document the work and explain the solutions and also collaborate effectively with others. Yeah. Mhm. Well, for me, there's really no difficulties when it comes to the English language because, as I mentioned before, it's like my primary language, right? Although sometimes, depending on the client or the team's accents, because I work internationally, right? So we all know, like other places, for example, Australia, US, UK, they speak English but in a different accent, right? So yeah, the pronunciation would like require me a little bit more time to process what they understand. I mean, like to process and understand what they are saying. So yeah, other than that, other than the accents and pronunciations, I have no problem with the English language at work. Mhm. Well, I would say listening because yeah, as I mentioned, my concern is basically just the accents and pronunciation. So when it comes to this, I would say listening. Not often actually, because I'm generally fluent. So I'm comfortable using it in professional settings, and that usually helps me communicate technical ideas clearly with the clients and team members. And if misunderstandings happen, they're usually not because of English itself, but because of like technical requirements that can sometimes be interpreted differently. So, for example, right, a client might say they want a feature to be simple, but in development, that can mean many different things depending on the expected functionality or the UX, which is user experience. So, in those situations, I usually ask follow up questions and confirm the details before starting the development. Mm, For me, is I guess module development inside. Yeah. All right.
Hi, Leslie. So I'm Yixiang, and I will continue to the next session. So, how do you prefer to learn English? For example, using videos, hands-on tasks, or role plays, or reading, or any other?
Well, I think I prefer reading because I find that when it comes to learning a language, Malay or any other language, reading is one of the best ways possible to catch on. And then after that, role play can come into play. Like role playing as in like based on real world usage. So I find that helpful when it comes to learning a new language, which is reading. And then after that, once you catch on the basics, then you can move on to role playing, real world situations.
Okay. So, would you prefer to learn through real IT related tasks? Means you learn while you do some tasks related to IT.
Yeah, definitely, because it feels more relevant to the work. So activities like writing client emails or discussing like bugs in the system, explaining technical issues, or like even documenting features are like much more useful than general English exercises if we were to relate this with IT related tasks.
All right. So, what topics are most useful for you for your job? Like, uh, maybe cybersecurity or anything eh, like cybersecurity or like app building, something like that.
For my role, the most useful topics would be like troubleshooting, software development communication, debugging discussions, or like explaining technical requirements and client communications. So, basic cybersecurity vocabulary is also useful. And yeah, it's actually useful, especially when discussing things like authentication, data privacy, or like system security. Yeah.
Okay. So, in a week, how much time can you realistically spend to learn English?
Realistically, I could spend around 2 to 4 hours per week since I already know and use English regularly. So, short but consistent practice would be the most practical for me.
All right. So, in your opinion, what topics should be included in an English module for IT personnel?
An English module for IT personnel, well, it should include technical vocabulary. So, besides that, client communication, writing professional emails, explaining bugs or technical issues, participating in meetings, writing documentation, and discussing project requirements.
Okay. So, in learning, what kind of activities would be useful?
Useful activities would include role playing client meetings, writing emails, explaining how a feature works, debugging conversations, reading technical documentation, and practicing how to describe technical problems clearly. Yeah.
Okay. So, for the last question, what you think would make the module more engaging and practical for IT workers?
Mm, my opinion, it would be more engaging if the lessons are based on real workplace scenarios. So, for example, right, using actual software development situations like the ones I mentioned previously, like discussing features, requests, or like handling client feedbacks, reporting bugs, and so on. Yeah, all this would make the learning much more practical and relevant for IT workers, in my opinion. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Leslie.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Lexi, I think that's all question from us. Thank you for joining the interview.
Yeah, thank you for letting me participate.